Another timely Bitcoin emergency update. The last few we've been bang on the money, and hopefully you've been able to take action, taking profits before the market dumps. But I don't think we're out of the woodworks yet. So today we're going to go into a bit more detail of what's very highly probable. Remember, we're in the probability game, not the certainty game. So just very quickly, if we just jump into the chart on the 14th, in fact, let's just jump back. I think there was another one on the 5th of September. I said, look, Bitcoin is likely, based on the psychology of the chart patterns, likely going to have a pullback. Then a week later, we had that big pullback, a big pullback. I did a video on the 14th of September. Then we said, look, the psychology of the market, the way it tends to pan out, is we're probably going to see an ABC correction, and this pink box, I clearly stated on the video on the 14th of September, there's going to be an opportunity for you to take some profits before we may see a big Bitcoin correction. And you've been commenting saying, look, some of you really did. You took profits where you're 2x up, 5x up, 10x up. And then, you know, we should anticipate a move to the downside. And then the next video we did, which was a Bitcoin emergency video on September 18th, is we did have this pullback. Like I did this video, and then later on that day, which we're going to go into live data now, it did pull back. So this is what we're going to cover today, this pullback, which we anticipated weeks ahead of time. This one and this one, very ahead of time. Look at this, all the way back on the beginning of the month, right? So if you don't know me by now, my name is Jagay. I'm the award-winning author of The Extraordinary New Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro. Been trading currencies, the Forex markets, for over 15 years, featured in the best-selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008, but now exclusively focus on crypto. And we just focus, I use Elliot wave theory, the Fibonacci theory, and it allows us to read and feel the market, read the market, feel the market, and what's likely to happen next. And if you haven't already, do take my free Elliot wave Fibonacci masterclass, because I teach you how to do this, because I only do around 7 videos a week. So sometimes a bit of a time lag before I can get the video out, before you get to see it, unless you're in my private Telegram group where you get a bit of a premiere, where you get the videos earlier. So let's now focus on Bitcoin. What's likely to occur next? I don't think we're out of the woodwork. So let's just talk about what most of the market is probably going to think is happening. And then I'm going to tell you what I think is happening based on the macro picture, the macro mass psychology, and what's likely to play out. So let's just zoom in here, right? So if we're just looking at this as a standalone section of the market, what typically unfolds is this 5-wave sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then textbook after a 5-wave sequence is typically an A, B, C correction. And actually is looking like that. It's almost looking exactly like that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an A, B, C correction. So first what we're going to look at is what's the minimum the market's likely to do. And it's right at that point right now. So minimum, typical minimum of an ABC. I'm going to draw it like this, just for clarity for this part of the video. But this is the minimum. The minimum isn't done now. So let's have a look. So if you want to get the macro picture, do watch to the end, because I'm going to tell you what's likely to happen over the next 2-3 weeks, which is going to give you the potential opportunity of a lifetime where everything might go in a deep discount. There's a whole different ball game. So here we're going A, B, C. This is what most of the market is probably going to think is happening. And it is one of the scenarios. Let me just make it orange so it really stands out. Let's make it really thick so it stands out. Right? When you get an ABC correction, what typically occurs is a few things. One is a price retracement. So we can take this high to this low. Apologies, low to the high. we used to bullish behavior, right? Low to the high. And the correction is typically 50, 62, and 78.6. So we're in that region. More often than not, wave A and wave B are equal to each other, right? So we measure wave A and we project it from, so wave C. We project it from the top of wave C, and the number that we're looking for is 100%. So normally this is what we'll consider as the completion of a correction and then a continuation of the trend. And the thing that will confirm that, the first major indicator, is going to be a close above this last swing high. However, I don't think that's the case. I don't think we're out of the woodworks, and I'm going to tell you why. And we need to pay special attention to this. Again, we're in the game of probabilities, not certainty. So anything can happen, but we want to look at the probabilities. So now let's just delete this, and delete this. Okay, so let's just go into a weekly chart, right? The weekly momentum is still bearish, right? It's still bearish, which means 2 to 3 weeks, we should anticipate sideways to down movements. Sideways to down movements, because the blue line is below the red, and it really does tell us the momentum of the market. The momentum's on the downside. So we should be patient and anticipate more downside movement. And it's important because Bitcoin in itself, I find, is like an indicator. And it indicates what's likely to occur in the rest of the market. And the rest of the market is magnified. So if Bitcoin is going down, the whole market goes down fast. If Bitcoin is going up, the whole market tends to go up much faster than Bitcoin. So now we've got that. What we said in one of our last videos, I think it was this one, it might have been the one after. He said, I think I might have put it in. I think I may have, did I? Yeah, here we go, this part here. What I said in the video was when the blue line goes below the red on the daily momentum, it should coincide with the high. And here you'll see clearly where I've marked this pink box, the blue line went below the red and it coincided perfectly with this top. Look at that, right? There's valuable information where we had pattern, which is this A, B, C. ABC is one of my favorites. I cover it in my masterclass. It's also referred to as a wave 2. Very, very powerful. So do take the masterclass. It's free and I've created it for you so you can kind of really understand this a bit more. So now we are in the what's called the oversold region. Oversold region, where soon, the next 1 or 2 days, we're probably going to see the blue line go over the red. But this is on a smaller picture. How I want you to think of the markets is Usain Bolt. He sprints like really fast, right? Really fast. After the 100 meters, what does he do next? He needs a breather. He needs to catch his breath. He needs to catch his breath. And that's really common with the markets. When there's a big move, there's a breather. There's a big move, there's a breather. And also referred to as a correction. So let's just now zoom back out for a second and remind ourselves what happened back in April. Right, we've been referencing this because this part of the chart here that we're looking at looks very, 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 very similar to this part. So every time we had this big move to the downside in April, if we just really zoom in, you had these small areas of breathers, like a little breather here, and then the market continued to the downside. And we want to be aware of that, very aware of that. Because a lot of people will think, you may think it's a reversal. And I go, it's unlikely to be a reversal just yet because the weekly momentum is down. So what you want to be patient for is the next bearish reversal. And if the market is still in this region, which is likely to be, it might be another great opportunity to possibly bag some profits if you've still got some profits rolling, take some money off the table, because what I anticipate is going to occur, and we'll finish on this, is we need to just very quickly look at the macro picture just to remind you what I'm seeing. Let's just change it to a line chart. It's a bit cleaner and clearer to see. Is if we use this as a reference, I believe we are coming towards this wave 4 low, and taking the macro context of the psychology of the market and the buying and selling behavior of the masses, if we are finishing off this wave 4 correction, then a wave C typically unfolds into 5 waves, and we've only seen 3 so far. So this is what I anticipate. Again, anything can happen, but if we are looking at this from a macro, real big macro picture of saying 2017 was like a wave 1 or wave 2, we've had this amazing bull run up until around early April, and then we've got this wave 4. Wave 4 happening, and typical wave 4s are a minimum of 3 waves, 1, 2, 3 on this side here, and that's what we're anticipating. So if this does occur this way, We should be very, very patient for a few weeks, maybe even to early mid-October. And then I think we're going to finish the year on a major rally, a major rally. So let's just summarize the last part of the market, because this is important. This is so important because most are going to get this wrong. Again, we need to work with the probabilities in our favor. No guarantees here, but probabilities in our favor. Let's just get rid of this for a second. If we anticipate a 5-wave sequence to the downside, what should we anticipate? Well, there's a few things. First of all, what we can do is we can zoom in here. A wave 3 is typically 1.618 of wave 1, right? So here I've marked this as a wave 1. This is not serving us no more. This I've marked as a wave 2. And then we should anticipate a wave 3. A wave 3 is 1.618. So let's just measure this. Here to here to here. 1.618. It's typically down here, right? And we should expect this. So we're expecting this as a minimum. Then we anticipate some type of breather. Remember, Usain Bolt needs this rest, right? Another correction similar to this one here to finish off a 5-wave sequence for a wave C. And then we should anticipate a final sell-off. And in this region, there will be, if it happens, and the word is if it unfolds like this, there will be a lot of panic in the market. Technicals normally set it up, the psychology, for some news to follow. And sometimes the news is the stimulus. I think it was Rami. I think you said, you know, the difference between now and April is that April was the whole China FUD. I go, look, the news will probably come. And then this is when I was doing the video up here. And then the next few days, what happened? Well, then we had the news, right? We had the news, the stuff that's happening in America, deflation and the SEC, and there's all kinds of news coming out. So just prepare yourself from a total psychology, buying and selling, profit taking. A wave 4 is a classic profit taking a wave. So let's just anticipate. So me personally, I'm standing aside right now. I'm just waiting for this. And if it does unfold like this, I think everything's going to go on discount. You know, your favorite projects are going to see prices that you probably never thought they will see again if it unfolds like this. And that's when you want to make sure you've got USDT or stable coins which are going to be protected in the downward movement, and then you can pounce on the opportunities. And then to wrap up on a positive, if it does unfold like this, what I'm anticipating is a really strong finish to the year of making all-time new highs with Bitcoin, and then all-time new highs with a lot of the altcoins, which is going to set you up for massive opportunity. So if you liked today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Can I ask you for a favor? I'm looking to start up a YouTube members. We just qualified to have YouTube members. What I'm struggling with is to keep up to date and up to speed with the amount of tokens that have been requested, because I normally only do 7 videos per week. So I'm looking to do YouTube live in the members area. But I'm trying to get a bit of a gauge for what do you want? What do you want as a member? You know, we don't know what we're going to charge you. It's not going to be anything too crazy. But as a member, what would you want as a perk that I can give you more value? You know, my thinking is it's going to be live analysis on the tokens that you're watching, so you can maximize your profits, minimize your losses, so on and so forth. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. What would you want as one of the major perks in the YouTube private members area? Hoping to create that over the next 1 or 2 weeks and then launch it to you guys. Let's finish on a quote. I think it's really prevalent. You've heard it before. It's from chapter 2 of my book. It's understand money. So that's the name of the chapter. But the quote is, rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. That's a Warren Buffett classic. And what we're looking to do here when Bitcoin is showing these type of psychological chart price patterns is make sure you're locking in profits. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. So you know, I'm an optimistic guy, but I'm being very real and objective when I'm seeing these patterns unfold. And I'm going, look, based on the weekly momentum, based on the macro pattern and the intermediate pattern, based on the price, based on the daily momentum as well, and even some time analysis, everything is indicating that we're probably going to see more sideways to down movement for at least 2 to possibly 3 more weeks. And you want to be in a position where you're not taking too much of a loss during that period and you can pounce on the market. All right, if you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. It does make a difference to the videos because then more people will see it. And I would love for people to see this because a lot of people are getting this wrong right now. And then hopefully there's going to be massive opportunity in the next few weeks as well. All right, see you soon.